What is up, everyone? This your boy DJ, and I'm back with a video from the Casual Corner. And I know it's a little bit late. Well, shit, it ain't a little bit late. It's a lot of bit late. But I wanted to celebrate the trailer and the release, the eventual release of Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And the thing about this video is not really just to go over that, but mainly I want to address one of my gripes about Dragon Ball games is the fact that, keep in mind, on the Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which I feel is one of the best Dragon Ball games ever made, came out in the year 2005, right? Excuse me. But it is now 2023 and we still have yet a Dragon Ball game to reach the heights that Tenkaichi 3 has reached all them years ago, right? And of course, I'm not the only one that feels this way about this game, because Tenkaichi 3 is like I said, is the best Dragon Ball game ever made. But there's reasons for that, and one of the two biggest, I feel, is one, the roster. The roster in that game, all the way up until that the point that game was made, every single character from the series Dragon Ball all the way up to GT was in the game. And not only that, the characters on the roster had all their correct transformations and their correct moves ripped directly from the show. Like the way they did in the show, they did it in the game. Everything was correct. Of course, like I said, since this game was, it leaned less towards like competition and more towards Dragon Ball fans. They focus more on the fans and stuff that we love from the game, like beam clashes, long cinematic super special moves, and all that good stuff, the stuff that we like, right? But with these lately these Dragon Ball games we got now, it's like they're not doing that as much, cutting corners and things of whatnot like that. So I feel like the only game that we had that could quite possibly reach that level would be the Xenoverse games, specifically Xenoverse 2. I don't know if they're making a third one or not. They haven't. People been wanting one, but the way that these game formats are going these days, they might just try to milk it for as long as possible. But beyond that, there are some things that, since Xenoverse 2 is the one out of all the Dragon Ball games that come close to being like a perfect model for like something close to like what Tenkaichi did, 3D arena fighter, big roster. There's some things that Xenoverse 2 could do that could actually make it good enough to match that same level of gameplay. Or shit, to be honest, it should be beyond Tenkaichi. It should actually be better. Like, for example, the Spider-Man games, right? We got Spider-Man PS4. Before that game was Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and same thing with that game. Spider-Man Web of Shadows was like the best Spider-Man game, at least in my opinion. And then, of course, Spider-Man PS4 come out, and of course it does everything in Web of Shadows, but better. Everything just better. So that's how I feel the Xenoverse 2 games should be. It pretty much does the arena fighter stuff just as good as not as good. It could be better. They basically took Xenoverse on the Tenkaichi 3 format, the Tenkaichi format, and added on like an adventure mode to it. It's not just fight, it's an adventure mode, action adventure RPG stuff added to the fighting game stuff. So you would think that the game would be that much better, right? So But let me get into this. I don't want to stick on this too much, because to be honest, it ain't surface level. Ain't that much stuff you can do to improve this game that they would have to do. They're just basically putting back stuff in the game that Tenkai did that they left out of these later games, right? So first off, when you first play Xenoverse, you get to create your own character. Bam! That's already a good thing. That's something that the Tenkai games did not have. And you'll think that having character customization creation will add to it, and it does. It does. That's good. Character creation's good. Customization's good. You know, add to, never take away. But of course, this is where we come into our first problem here. Like, of course, at release, this isn't a problem. You know, the game, I forget when Xenoverse 2 came out, but when you first get into the game, you get to choose what race your character is, right? And you only have 5 selectable races to choose from, and that's Earthling, Saiyan, Namekian, Boo, and Changeling. And those options, although they are good, that is very limited compared to the amount of races that are actually in the show, especially in the year 2023. Like, with Dragon Ball Super and everything, shit, from the races we've seen in the beginning, there's already some races left out. For example, like the android race. Androids have been in Dragon Balls since inception, right? Like from the Ader and Aurelie all the way up to Gamma 1 and 2, you know. Androids have been a prominent part of Dragon Ball for ages. We have plenty full of android characters running around, good and bad, so there's no reason why androids, male and female type, should not be as a race, right? Along with other characters like, let's say, like Tapion. I forget what race he is, but when it comes, Tapion's another character. I forget what race he is, but he's not the only one of his kind. If you've seen the movie with him and Hildegard, you know that his whole race was attacked, some shit like that, by that monster. And him and his little brother, so they show that off. Hildegard's body parts are trapped in both their bodies respectively, and they have to do the flute song thing. I forget the story, but the point of it is there's more than one of his kind, right? So being that you see, the rule of this should be, if you see more than one of that race of person in the show, you should be able to select them in the game, right? And the same goes for the Kais, right? We see Supreme Kai. At first I thought about it. I was like, okay, maybe these guys might be really powerful, so you shouldn't be able to use them, you know, because in the Xenoverse you got the Supreme Kai at time. She's pretty strong. But when you think about it, on the Supreme Kai in Dragon Ball Z, he wasn't really all that strong. And then you got Zamasu as well. So you know, these guys, they're pretty much like janitors of the time stream multiverse or whatever. Well, I forget a proper name for them, but they're hired on and trained just like any other character in the show, right? And they're not that powerful because, you know, Goku Black, Zamasu wished to have a body that was really the strongest body in the universe, and he got the body of Goku. So we know that they're not the strongest. But yeah, just having access to more races to choose from the beginning of the game and would be a plus for this. And the fact that from the time the Xenoverse came out till now, and we still don't have that option is kind of weird. But just to move past that, also with the character creation, we're gonna go more deep in depth with that. With the Saiyan race, you know, we have transformations, right? Every character race has their transformations exclusive to their race, you know. Like Changelings had the golden Frieza form, you know, since they're Frieza people, and then Kaioken potentially unleash. But on the topic of this is with the Saiyans and their Super Saiyan transformations. Like, we have Super Saiyan, Super Vegeta, the God transformations, which would be Super Saiyan God, which is the red aura one, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, which is the blue, then Evolve, which is basically what Vegeta did, right? So, Future Super Saiyan, almost forgot. But now here's the thing: 3 Super Saiyan, Super Vegeta, and Future Super Saiyan are all the same Super Saiyan line, which is the blonde hair, except only one of them goes from 1 to 3, which is the original Super Saiyan. Super Vegeta only goes to Super Saiyan 2, and Future Super Saiyan goes to 1. There should not be 3 different versions of this, regardless of what their traits are for the awoken skill. There should just be one, and it goes 1 to 3. That would clean that up and make that better for the transformation, make it look better, more organized, and make room for more meaningful transformations for your CAC, right? Like, instead of having all that, you just have the one. It goes from 1 to 3. And the same thing with the God transformation line. Instead of just having all those different ones, you just have Super Saiyan God, and depending, just like with the regular Super Saiyan, which goes from 1 to 3, depending on how much ki you have when you transform dictates what transformation you use. Like in Super Saiyan, you have 2 bars of ki, you go level 1, 4 bars of ki, you go level 2, and I think it's 6 bars of ki, you go 3. That should apply with the God one as well. 2, 4, 6, God red, God blue. And if you want, you can still do Evolve if you want to keep that there. I think that's a waste anyways, but for the sake of the game, what they have, yeah, keep it. But now those other ones, transformations that people actually want for them, like Super Saiyan 4, there's no reason why CSA should not have the option to go level 4, right? I mean, yeah, from a design view, I guess having the red fur, black hair, tail thing might be a little problematic, but I'm pretty sure they could find a way for it. And then also, since we know that there's more than one legendary Super Saiyan out there, we got 3 Brolys. One, and you know, we got OG Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Kale, a female, basically female Broly. So we know that legendary Super Saiyans can be applied to male and female Saiyans, and we know how the transformation works. We've seen it in movies and the show itself. You have they go regular Super Saiyan mode where they're still kind of small, right? They're buff, but not super buff, and they have the light green aura. And then of course the legendary mode where they get all buff, white in their eyes, they, you know, big as shit, all that. All 3 of them do it the same. Well, Dragon Ball Super Broly he kind of skipped the smaller first phase and went straight to the legendary part, but still, OG Broly and Kale did it that way, so it's safe to say that they all do it that way. Alright, so that form can also be used for CSCs as well. Now, on the other side of that is having transformations that are only exclusive to certain characters, like Beast transformation for Gohan. That should not be used for CSCs because that's only exclusive to Gohan. He's the only person that's done that, Saiyan or not. Same thing goes with the orange Namekian form for Piccolo, because if you can have access to that, then why not have Ultra Instinct transformation for all your characters too? So, you know, those one-off or those transformations exclusive to those characters, they should only have it. Unlike form like God of Destruction, we know that that's not just title, that's actual transformation because Topo did it. We know that Beerus and those other Gods of Destructions, they're not like they were born that way or something. No, you can attain that form because Topo attained it, as you're seeing now in the show. So that could be a form. That form's not just for saying, that could be for anyone, any of the CACs. And I was wondering why they didn't include that after it showed it in the show in an update, but they put Beast transformation, so that's kind of weird. But moving on past the transformations, they have a system in the game where you can have a mentor for your character, and depending on your mentor, as you level up with them or whatever, you're able to go on missions and learn their moves. Now I know not all their moves can. Some of these guys' moves are attained through parallel quests. Some changes they could do for this game, because those parallel quests, the RNG for that crap is ludicrous. You could get a Z ranking and you would still not get the move. You do it like 100 times, Z ranking every time, and you would still not get the move. What they could do, first off, make every original character available as a mentor, and also make all their moves available to be learned from their mentorship quests as well. Like, so you'll have a character as a mentor. As you do their quests, you get their moves as rewards. And here's the kicker: upon maxing out your mentor level with them, not only do you get all their moves, but you're able to get their move set. What I mean by move set is the way you fight. And when you create your character, based on what your race is, you get a generic move set, like combo strings and stuff and grabs. What you can do is switch that out upon maxing out your mentorship with whatever character you're using. You could have the moveset of like Janemba. Of course, some of these movesets will be exclusive to races, because some of these characters have tails, and not every character, the races and stuff, not all the characters have tails. Like, for instance, changelings have tails. So, of course, they're going to have access to all the characters, especially the ones with tails. And then you got the Boo, Majin Buu characters, since they got stretchy limbs and stuff like that. Regular characters like Saiyans and Earthlings can't do that stuff, so of course they wouldn't be able to use those movesets as well. So that, but that's some of the ideas for that could be used going forward with these characters. But last but not least, what I want to get, which is the most important thing, this is the longevity of the game itself, content, right? And there's this game I looked into a while back, and it's on YouTube. Well, not the game, but some of the clips and stuff, the media for it. I've seen videos on it. Dragon Ball Heroes is the name, and it's not really the game that I'm paying attention to, but it's the promotional anime that runs alongside it when they have new content for the game. And the promotional anime focuses on like a multiverse, which includes all the characters from all over the media, like Fu. You've seen Fu in Xenoverse and Supreme Kai Time. They're in there. A couple of regular characters, but then they have new characters or reimagined versions of original characters. Like, for instance, you see Cooler in there in one of the episodes, and he has the golden form. Never seen that before. That's the type of stuff they could use for the game as well. And characters like Cumber, he's basically another like Broly like Saiyan dude who has a rage transformation or whatever. He can go up to level 3 now. And also Time Patroller Trunks, the Trunks that we see in the Xenoverse games, this dude is able to attain the levels of Super Saiyan all the way from 1 to 3 all the way up to Super Saiyan God at some point. And then the best thing about the show, of course, alongside with like new enemies, new heroes, is the inclusion of the GT characters. But the version of the GT characters they have are like post GT. For example, Xeno Goku. He's basically, GT Goku, but instead of being his kid form, since this is post GT, he's got his original body back, and he's working as a time patrol. Not just him either, it's also Vegeta and Gohan. Remember, these are all the GT versions, so all these guys are able to go from Super Saiyan 1 to 3, every single one, even Vegeta and Gohan. And they all can go, and Gohan can go level 4. It showed Gohan going level 4 at some point as well. Also, a new form for Vegito, like I said, they have A battle with OG Broly, he popped back up, but he attained level 4, the level 4 form, and was fighting against both versions of, I think it was Gogeta or Vegito. I think it was level 4 Vegito and level 4 Broly versus level 4 Vegito, and Dragon Ball Super Gogeta, right? So it's stuff like that. It makes you wonder, like, why aren't they using this stuff for the games? Like, these characters could be in the game and they could make it work, right? Oh, and before I forget, I almost forgot the roster. Like, that, I don't know if I said it already. Maybe I did. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it again. The roster for the games need to be fixed. Like, for some reason, whether it's Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Fighters, whatever, either there are not enough characters, or the characters they had, they don't have the right transformations. I know in Xenoverse especially, I'm gonna use Frieza for example. You have base form Frieza in one slot, and that's it. He don't transform or nothing. Then in another slot, you have final form Frieza, and that's it. He don't transform or anything too. Then you have 100% final form Frieza in another slot. That's 3 slots for one character. Not to mention, none of them can transform, and they're missing 2 transformations from Frieza. So it's like you're using 3 slots for one character, and he's not even complete. That seems to be a thing for the Xenoverse games. They're not. The Tenkai 3 didn't do that. You'll have Frieza, and then he could go from base form in game, and like during the fight, he'll go from base form to second form, third form, final form to 100%, depending on how much ki you had. And each form we transformed had a little cutscene, just like it did in the show, and all the forms had their proper moves. Like, so of course there's other examples of characters not having their right transformations and stuff, or multiple versions of the same characters or whatever. They could clean all that up, and I'm telling you, Xenoverse will be on the same level of Tenkai 3, and or if not better. But that's just some of my thoughts on the game, what they could do with it. Hopefully Tenkai 4, when it come out, fingers crossed they keep it, you know, it's just a better version of Tenkai 3. Hopefully they didn't scale back on anything or leave shit out. I don't know. It seems today, in our age today, when it comes to gaming, they want to cut content and do all this other funky shit and mess games up and whatever. But like I said, fingers crossed, hopefully they do it justice. But that's all I got for y'all today. If you like what I'm doing here, like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Casual Corner, I'm out.